Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
And welcome to episode 118 of Adventures and Mousecapades. This week we are trying something new. What happens when you give a whole bucket of random notes to Microsoft Copilot and then ask it to summarize and create your podcast notes? Let's find out.
The great experiment begins now.
Experiment, yes.
On this episode, we're recapping all the news that's new and approved from the House of Mouse. That's right. It's our quarterly Disney review.
Damn.
We're looking back on the first 3 months of 2024 and hitting highlights.
Yep. And some of this is going to be stuff that they have announced in the first 3 months of the year, but things that will happen later.
Got it. All right. Well, let's start in Disneyland, shall we?
Yes. Disneyland's going through all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plan called Disneyland Forward where they are wanting to add new lands, and it's just a blueprint of what they want to do in the future.
Whole bunch of stuff.
Yes. And there was a 5-hour Anaheim Planning Commission meeting where Disneyland Forward was brought up. And the project passed this hurdle of the Planning Commission.
Wow.
So, yay! This is actually a very big step. There are still multiple other steps to go through,
right,
but this was actually a big one, and it passed, and I am happy about this.
So this will obviously take many years to come to full fruition, but Disneyland Forward is, at least for now, seems to be a go. So
moving forward, as it were.
All right. Next on the list from Copilot is there are new entry gates at California Adventure.
Yeah.
Is this the front entrance from the Esplanade, or is this what they were going to build to get from the new, or at least revamped Pixar Pier, Pixar Place, Pixar something or other hotel?
This is the front entry.
Okay.
They've made it a little bit easier and a little more accessible for folks to get through the turnstiles or whatever they used to be. Now they are easier to get through.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Also, Disney World couldn't have the only fun with PhotoPass photographers getting new outfits. Now the Disneyland Resort PhotoPass cast members have new outfits too. They're kind of a mix of, I guess, sky blue and bright green. They look kind of cool. I like that they are easily visible. We can tell who the PhotoPass cast members are.
Is it the same lime green as they're using in Disney World?
Parts of it, but it's not the whole outfit or the whole shirt isn't lime green. It's two different colors. Like I think it's mainly a sky blue, and then there's lime green accents on it. If only there was a way to look it up.
No, that's impossible.
Okay, we'll just have to go visit again.
Copilot didn't tell us, therefore we can't talk about it. Mr. Bob Iger mentioned that a quote-unquote Pandora-themed land could come to Disneyland. Disney does own enough land to expand its existing footprint by about 50%. It would have to move a bunch of things around.
Yeah.
This is all part of Disneyland Forward and things like that. But there could be Pandora Part 2, I guess, if you will, over here in Disneyland on the West Coast. There's so many other properties that
it had been mentioned before that there'd be like a Pandora type ride. This is the first time that he'd actually mentioned a whole land coming. So that caused a bit of a kerfuffle. Like, oh, are we going to get Pandora over here? Who knows? Who knows? I'd rather not. There's supposed to be another Avatar movie coming, right? I still haven't seen the second one.
I never even made it through the first one.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I've already seen in Fern Gully. I don't need to have it retold the same way.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Next, we have that on January 10th, Magic Keys were back on sale. Now, Magic Keys are Disneyland Resort's annual pass. They're just called Magic Keys. And they sold out in just over 24 hours, and we were lucky enough to get our hands on them. Yay.
Yes, we were. We suffered through multiple levels of technical issues that their site had, but we snagged some Magic Keys. So we are bi-coastal pass holders now.
Yay.
So was that a smart financial decision?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Copilot says so. On January 21st, Haunted Mansion Holiday closed up for the season, but Haunted Mansion will actually stay closed through the summer to update the new queue outside. There's going to be new gardens and a greenhouse, kind of similar to the glow up that we saw happen in Florida a few years ago with an expanded queue outdoors. And lots of new accessibility options will be included in all of this, because if you remember, in Disneyland, Haunted Mansion is actually a multi-story event where you actually are entering into the ride building on the second floor, and the stretching room literally is an elevator to get you down there. So that does create some complications with accessibility, not necessarily on the ride entrance, because everybody's going down in that elevator, but on the ride exit. So they're doing some work on that. And then there will also be a new carriage house built that is going to effectively be the merch shop, and that will belong to Madame Leota.
Yeah, something along the lines of what they have in Disney World of Memento Mori.
Yes.
Hopefully this one will be a little bit bigger, because Memento Mori is tiny.
Yes. And I know, knowing us and your proclivity for all things Haunted Mansion, we will be spending some money there. So looking forward to that opportunity. Well, very, very high.
Would you like to know the probability of her using it against you? It's high.
Let's get going.
It's very high.
On January 20th, early entry changed for Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. It used to be those that were hotel guests at Disney could get into either of the parks 30 minutes ahead of time. Well, they're changing that. Now it's only one of the parks at a time. So on a specific day, you can only get into Disneyland early, and then the next day it'll be California Adventure. Can't do both of them. So
No.
I don't know why they did that. People?
Staffing. Yeah. I mean, they're saving on staff. A 30-minute change is a 30-minute change. So
True.
it is what it is.
Disney also announced that Season of the Force is coming back to Disneyland Resort. It'll be here April 5th to June 2nd. This is going to have characters at Star Wars Launch Bay. Hyperspace Mountain will return. They're going to also have new adventures added to Star Tours, not just at Disneyland, but also at Tokyo Disneyland, Disney Hollywood Studios, and Disneyland Paris. This I'm actually really excited for, because they're adding characters from Ahsoka, characters from Andor, and from The Mandalorian.
This is going to be awesome. I think the only problem is you're going to want to see all the new stuff, and you're going to have to ride that ride over and over and over and over and over and over.
I think there's like 250 new scenes or total scenes that they're going to have.
Like combinations of things.
I think there's even more. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Because they can
lot.
mix and match, like different things happen and sequences.
Yes.
And yeah. So if you want to see it all, plan to spend a few days at Star Tours. Also coming up this summer, from April 26th to August 4th, will be Pixar Fest over at Disney's California Adventure. This will include a parade, a bunch of food booths, a nighttime spectacular. There's a party. There's a club. What is a club? Copilot didn't give me any more information. It just said club.
That's me.
Oh, you're Copilot?
I didn't. No, I know what it means. No, I took notes. They're all over the place. And then I grabbed all of them. I threw it into Copilot and said, fix this.
All right. Well, what is Party Club?
No, they're two separate things. There's going to be a Pixar party, and there's going to be a Pixar Pals Club, I think. They haven't really said what that is, so you'll just have to go and figure it out.
You could go clubbing at a party with your Pixar pals.
I think it's for kids. It's a kids club.
Disney also announced that on May 1st, Critter Country will close there in Disneyland. This is to make way for some shop revamps and things to prep for Tiana's Bayou Adventure to open up. So this will impact that whole kind of corner of the park. It includes Winnie the Pooh's over there. What else is over there? I'm kind of forgetting.
Hungry Bear Restaurant, and there's 2 shops.
Okay.
2.5 shops. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a little dead end area over there.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of things reopening or getting ready to come back open, Fantasmic will be coming back on May 24th. As you may remember, the conflagration of Murphy back in April of 2023 when the dragon, the Maleficent dragon that Mickey fights there towards the end of the Fantasmic show in Disneyland, she was in fuego and literally burned to the ground. The dragon is no more and has been removed from the show. They have been working on reworking that whole sequence there at the end. And so it'll be exciting to see how that whole battle and that whole conflict plays out here at the end. So stay tuned at the end of May and we'll have our answer.
There you go.
All right, now Copilot is hopping us over to Florida, and we're going to talk about some things going on in Disney World.
Yeah.
On January 9th, the Disney Dining Plan returned after a 4-year hiatus. This is your ability to prepay for a meal package, and then you get a certain amount of meal and snack and drink credits and things like that that you can use throughout your stay. And it is a very popular option for folks who want to be able to prepay or at least pre-plan what their meals and their whole budget situation can look like. So there are some very interesting ways you can game that system and really make it pay for itself over and over. So if there are lots of resources out for you to investigate and learn from if you are into the Disney Dining Plan. It's not something that we typically use. We are more of an a la carte kind of dining family and whatnot, and we just like having a little bit more flexibility and don't mind having to pay as we go, as it were.
We have used it in the past.
We have tried it in the past, yes. Yeah.
On January 27th, the Country Bear Jamboree closed.
Indeed.
They are going to reopen it this summer. They're reimagining it. They're going to have updated Disney songs in various country-style arrangements. And Liver Lips is getting a new name.
He is. I forgot. What's his name now? I forget.
Liver Lips?
No, what's his name going to be?
Romeo.
Romeo. Got it. He'll always be Liver Lips to us. It was announced that on April 10th, a popular restaurant is finally coming back. 1900 Park Fare will reopen at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. This is a character dining experience that features folks from Mary Poppins and a whole bunch of other characters. And there was one other face character there, wasn't it?
Alice in Wonderland,
Alice,
Cinderella.
that was it.
You can sometimes see Lady Tremaine and the stepsisters there too. I believe Cinderella's prince will be, is that Prince Charming? I get them so mixed up and I feel so bad when
one
I
of them's
talk to
just
princesses.
no, it's
That's
Snow
Snow
White.
White's is the
it's
prince.
Just the prince.
Prince
Yes.
Charming is Cinderella's.
Because I remember talking to Snow White and we made that mistake. And she's like,
Yes.
It's just the prince. So are you Mrs. the Prince now? Like, how does that work?
Or is it Prince White?
Prince White. She liked that.
She did.
She liked that. Kind of blew her brain a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah. Fort Wilderness has a new DVC concept, I guess you would call it. DVC is taking over the cabins over there, and they've released the concept art. There's more than 350 cabins now. I'm not sure about this. I don't know if they're taking all of the cabins over there or if there's still some cabins available for folks that aren't DVC.
I think they're taking all of the cabins.
Disney, I do not agree with this decision.
No, this was a very cost-effective way for a lot of people to stay at Disney. And I don't like that it's going to DVC.
No.
But they have already started replacing a bunch of those cabins. I think they're doing them in waves of 25 or 50. They look really nice.
They do look really nice.
They have not changed kind of the primary point of concern that many people had with the room layout, and that there is a bunk bed for kids that is in what is effectively the main bedroom where your parents would be. So your kids are more often than not going to sleep in the room with you, and then there's a separate living room that also has like a convertible hide-a-bed. I think the going consensus that I've heard is that those bunk beds should have been moved out into the living room so mom and dad can have a space to themselves. But they did not do that.
You can argue either way, though, because if they're in the living room, then the parents have to go into the bedroom when it's time for the kids to go to bed.
Oh, no.
No. Okay, whatever.
Another big thing that has happened at Disney World is that park pass reservations are no longer required for pretty much everybody except for annual pass holders. If you have a ticket that is a one-day ticket that you can use whenever, or if you're on your vacation and you get one of those, 4, 5, 6 day, 2-day, 3-day things that says, you have 3 days to use the parks between X date and Y date, you can just go to whatever park. You don't have to make a park pass reservation anymore. This is awesome. It brings back a lot of spontaneity of where do you want to go today. You combine that with another big change, which is all-day park hopping is back. Yay. And you can do whatever you want whenever you want, unless you're an annual pass holder. And then you still have to make a park pass reservation if you want to show up before 2 a.m., 2 p.m. If you show up before 2 a.m.,
well,
then you're really early. That's a whole different kind of rope drop. I don't, what's the point? Guys, there's so few annual pass holders in Disney World.
Disney World, yeah.
By comparison, why do you still have this park pass reservation thing for pass holders? Let it go. Let it go. We don't need that no mo.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Alrighty then. Extended evening hours have returned for deluxe hotel guests. This happens on specific dates at Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So very cool to see.
Disney announced that they're going to have a new DVC lounge in Disney World. There's no other info that they have given at this time. I'm like, where? When? Nope, that's it. You're just getting a new DVC lounge.
There will be one.
There will be one. There's currently one in Epcot.
Yes.
At the Imagination Pavilion.
If you were them, sure, that's good English. If you were running DVC, where would you put the new DVC lounge?
Probably somewhere in Magic Kingdom. I wonder if there's room over in Tomorrowland somewhere. Like above Carousel Progress? Is that... I get my parks mixed up all the time.
I know the DVC lounge in Disneyland is over there in Tomorrowland. It's kind of in the building there for Space Mountain, or at least kind of right next to it, if you will. But we'll just have to see.
I'm pretty sure there's a whole area that they haven't opened up in Tomorrowland, in Disney World, where they could do something like this. Again, I get my parks mixed up way too much between.
Yeah. If it's just a DVC lounge, it's not going to be a revenue generator, although it is a capacity suck. So, and I mean that in a good way. Like it is a sink for capacity. Maybe not capacity suck. It is a capacity sink where people can be in the park. So there is a benefit to it, but I can't see them putting a whole new building up just to do this.
I think that they have plenty of building space within the parks that is not being used. I know there's space in Hollywood Studios for sure, where they just haven't redone stuff. So maybe in Hollywood Studios.
Oh, that's a good point. There are several shops and things like that have never reopened. So that would kind of be an easy win. And that park is really hot, especially in the summer. There's not a lot of shade and things in Hollywood Studios. I would almost say Hollywood Studios could use a DVC lounge more than Magic Kingdom. The thing I'd be more afraid of with Magic Kingdom is it would just be packed all the time.
Yeah.
Like, which probably says, like, doesn't that mean that it would be like really great to have one there? Well, yeah, probably. But I'd be worried about, if you look at how big the one in Epcot is, which isn't really that big, and how slammed it gets, I'd be concerned about that happening in Magic Kingdom as well. I bet you they'll take some of those shops that aren't back from the pandemic and turn those into a lounge. That seems a lot easier.
We shall see.
Indeed.
Dining reservations are much easier to check out and make in the Disney World app now. You can search for multiple dates at a time. I think up to 10 dates, which is quite nice. So it used to be you'd have to select one date at a time. See if there's anything that date. Nope, there's not. All right, let's try a different date. Nothing that date either. So,
well, just a few months back, it was you had to specify a specific day and a specific time.
Yeah.
And then you could only see like maybe an hour on either side of that time that you chose. And then you'd have to do multiple searches for different time ranges. So
yeah,
they're getting a lot better. They're getting a lot better.
Yeah, it makes searching and planning a lot easier. Just this little change here.
Yeah, because they basically did a change several months ago. I should complete that thought of you chose a day and you could kind of see all of the dining times that are available for that day.
Yes.
So that was great. So now the change is to take that and enhance it. You can choose multiple days and see all of the dining times available across multiple days. So they're actually making an awesome change.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't crash the system. Voyage of the Little Mermaid is coming back. This has been closed ever since the pandemic shut down. They're updating the show a little bit. This will be rebranded as The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, and open in the fall. So I heard from a couple other podcasts that when they closed this show, there's a bunch of water in it. And, there's sprinkler systems that come from the ceiling, and there's some other effects and things like that happen on the stage. And when they closed during the pandemic, they literally just closed and walked away thinking they'd be back in a couple weeks. And they weren't. And there's some significant water damage on the inside. And that's taken some non-trivial amount of infrastructure updates and cleaning and things like that to revamp. So it's great to see that this show is coming back. Definitely always need more shows, things to do, and places to put people on busy days in the park. So good to see that coming back. And you can get wet in a theater again real soon.
Water can't cause that much damage, can it?
Yeah, we're just about to move back into our house after 2.5 months from water damage. So yeah, I'm going to go with yes. It's a hard yes. Disney is getting 90 new buses. They just announced, I think, this week. And this is great because there's going to be lots more people heading to Disney World, and definitely need to have better, more efficient, and hopefully just more capacity to get people around the resort.
They've changed the inside of the buses. Like the way it's set up now is not great for folks that have scooters. They've updated the interiors of these buses. It's a lot easier for folks in scooters to just get on, and for folks in wheelchairs, anything like that. It's
nice.
Yeah, it's just a lot easier for those. May 24th is a big day. We've got 2 big things opening in Disney World on May 24th. You have the Country Bear Musical Jamboree to open with all the Country Bear goodness, Disney songs.
This is the important one. This is the big announcement. Yeah.
And this other thing called Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to open as well.
Yeah, whatever. Not a big deal, I don't think.
I am excited for both of these, actually.
Yeah.
So I will caveat, I am not a fan of country music. I never have been. Country Bear Jamboree was always an interesting experience.
Well, I think it was made more interesting by the fact that over the last several years, you could hear the animatronics more than you could hear the music.
That was scary.
That was freaky.
But I am looking forward to hear the countrified versions of Disney standards.
Yeah.
And what they're going to do with those. I like that concept. I'm happy to see that whenever we go to Disney World again. It'll be a while.
It'll be a
and
bit.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I was quite excited when they said what they were going to do with Splash Mountain.
They've done a tremendous job with what we've been able to see from a theming perspective. And we just saw this week that some of the Imagineers are already taking test rides on the Flume ride. So people in logs, water is flowing. We're getting close.
And we've seen the Tiana animatronic too, and
Yeah.
that looks really cool.
Yeah, their newest generation. Gone are the projected faces. Everything looks a heck of a lot more natural. I mean, for a cartoon animated character in real life, but it looks really good. I'm excited to see these. It's great to see a lot of these innovations that have been pioneered in a lot of the international parks over in Asia starting to come back over here to the States. I wish they would be putting some of the money into the U.S. parks first for some of these things every once in a while. It seems like for the last decade, everything has hit the Asian parks first and hasn't necessarily come back home.
I think it's because of how the finances work for the overseas parks.
That's a good point.
Because it's not just Disney. There's other companies that assist with the financials.
Yeah, there's a local company for most all of the Asian parks, if not all of the Asian parks. I can't remember the details, but it's basically Disney has partnered with an entity that is effectively dedicated to running that park there locally. So they're just willing to put more money into the parks. I hope this whole $60 billion thing that they keep talking about of investing into the parks over the next decade, A, comes to fruition, and B, brings the U.S. parks up to the standards of what we're seeing happening over in Asia. Because
we will be talking about that a little bit later.
Excellent.
I do have that listed on here.
Copilot's coming. Got it. Thank you,
yes.
Copilot. Thank you, Copilot. On June 10th, Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza will finally open. This is the last of Walcott coming down. The construction walls will be no more, and that whole central area will be open to the public. It will include a demo kitchen for all of the festivals, a big mixology bar, an exhibition gallery. There's a new stage there on the plaza. There's a whole new show, like an Encanto show coming. Oh, come on, let's go.
Ready for that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just from what we saw before, it looked really pretty, but it'll be nice once all the walls are down and they can use that area for all the different festivals that Epcot has.
Yep.
Well, Disney World's finally getting a drone show.
Indeed.
This is going to be not at any of the parks, though. It's going to be at Disney Springs. The name of it is Disney Dreams That Soar. It is about flight for some weird reason because of the drones. May 24th through September 2nd, they're going to have the drone show at Disney Springs, which, okay, I've heard that they've tried this before many, 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 many years ago. Technology has changed quite a bit since it was last year. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out with the wonderful weather that Florida has.
Yes. Yeah. It will be an interesting time to see how often the show is going to work and how often the winds are going to just be too much or there's a thunderstorm rolling through or whatever. But I'm excited for the technology. I think some of the stuff you saw over in Paris, Disneyland Paris specifically, rather, was just really amazing. And yeah, I'm excited to see this happen. I hope it does turn out and work well. I think this could be maybe something that they introduce over in California as a way to do some nighttime show elements in the sky that doesn't involve fireworks and completely piss off all the neighbors.
Yeah.
I think that could be a really awesome opportunity. So I hope this works. I hope this works out. I wish we were going to be in Florida this summer to see it. We will not.
Nope.
But I'm sure we'll get a video or two online. All right, moving on to Disney Cruise Line. We have a bunch of announcements about Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. And I know I said K. It's Key, K. I apologize if that offended anyone. We got some new pics about buildings and locations being built. We saw some outfits shared for Mickey and Minnie that are very much Bahamian themed. And we saw just recently in the last week or so some merch that will be available that's dedicated to the Lighthouse Key. And first sailings are coming up real soon. First sailings of Disney Cruise Line ships that hit Lighthouse Key will happen in June of this year. So just a couple months away. Alicia, what do you think about the new theming and the new merch?
The theming of the island itself and the buildings there, I like. I think it looks really cool. I know they're really trying to pull in the culture, the Bahamian culture, and stuff that I don't know about. Like there's a like Junkanoo, I think is what it's called. I don't know what that is, but I know Mickey and Minnie's new outfits have to do with Junkanoo, and I look forward to at some point learning what that actually is.
Yeah.
The merch, I did not like at all.
No, I didn't either. Sorry.
Not just because it's red. I didn't like the patterns on it. I'm sure it has some sort of meaning to it. I don't know what that is though, but I just didn't like the initial look of it.
Yeah. That was my reaction as well. When I saw this picture, I was like, I don't, nothing of that. None of that seems really compelling for us to spend on. Yeah. I am sure there are folks that will snap it right up and love it. And that's great. It's just not our vibe. I think we're more of the Caribbean and Hawaiian kind of theme than Bahamian, if you will.
I did like the outfits for Mickey and Minnie though. I thought they looked really
Yeah,
cute.
they're cute. Absolutely.
Speaking of new outfits, all of the characters at Castaway Cay got new outfits. Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Daisy, Chip, Dale, and Pluto all got new outfits.
Cool.
And they're really cute. They're super bright colors. I think Chip and Dale basically have some sort of piratey type outfit with the bright colors. Daisy has like a beach lounge outfit on. Yeah. Good stuff.
Nice. The Disney Treasure is moving forward towards completion. It's got its funnels on now. In fact, in the last week, it was put afloat there in the dry dock, so it should be coming out and seeing the light of day soon. We had a specific souvenir merch announced for the Treasure. We saw a coaster set, like a drink coaster set, themed to the ship's bars and lounges. There's a mixology set and a $20,000 planter.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea planter.
See, Copilot didn't give me that kind of context.
No, these are my notes.
No, blame Copilot.
I know what it says. Copilot was just awesome about putting it in order.
Got it.
The new ship has been named.
It has. Didn't have this one on my bingo card.
No. The Disney Destiny is the next ship. It is all about heroes and villains, and it is set to sail in 2025.
Yes, I think this will be very much like we saw or are seeing with the Treasure, where it will set sail the very last week of 2025.
I hope not. I really want to get on this maiden voyage.
They literally just laid the keel like a week or so ago.
But I don't want a Christmas time maiden voyage.
No.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That made me so mad with the Treasure.
Yeah. Hopefully it slips by a little bit. It'll be in the middle of January, and then we can go and not take the kids. All right, let's talk international, shall we?
We.
On January 25th, the Disneyland Hotel in Paris reopened. This closed in March of 2020, along with everything else in the world, and a refurb was announced in April of 2021. It has not reopened from the pandemic, and it is finally back open. This hotel straddles the park entrance there on... It's not Main Street USA in Paris, is it? Or is it?
don't remember.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
I think it is in Disneyland Paris. I don't think it is in the Asian parks.
Okay, got it. Anywho, this hotel kind of straddles that main entrance area, and you can look out either on the Esplanade or right into Disneyland Paris, right down Main Street. This is the signature hotel for that resort. And from all that we've seen online with a bunch of videos and things, this looks stunning. They've done such a great job with the theming and everything else in this hotel. We'll have to go check it out.
Yep.
Just as a complete non sequitur, if anybody wants to sponsor us,
We are going to be talking with somebody who is staying there in the next month or so at that specific hotel. So we'll get some thoughts from her on what she thinks of the hotel in Disneyland Paris.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. On February 10th, the Disney Electrical Sky Parade drone show at Disneyland Paris debuted. And you guys, if you haven't, you need to go onto YouTube and look this parade up. It is the Disney Electrical Sky Parade. It's amazing. It's
fantastic.
It's so cool. It looks like the, electric light parade.
Yep.
But in the sky. And there's even pyrotechnics from the drones.
Question mark?
I don't know how they did it. It just,
Drones are not exploding,
no,
but a combination of
falling,
movement and lights and it's really cool. Yeah, Alicia's right. Go find it on YouTube. It's worth it. Disney announced that on June 6th at Tokyo Disney Sea, which, by the way, it's absolutely on our bucket list. Everybody has said this is their favorite park. We have to get over there. I'm huge in Japan. Anyhow, at Tokyo Disney Sea, the new Fantasy Springs area will be opening up. And this includes Frozen Kingdom, Rapunzel's Forest, Peter Pan's Neverland, and a new hotel.
Like a super, super fancy hotel.
Yeah. So just tangential, non sequitur, actually. If anybody wants to sponsor us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I want to go have food over at the Snuggly Duckling restaurant.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Frozen area looks amazing. Rapunzel looks great. Like we were talking about before, the international parks have been nailing these lands and everything that's opening and the new versions of rides and they just
Zootopia, Arendelle.
Yeah.
It looks so
But
good.
even things like the modern implementations of Pirates of the Caribbean that we've seen in some of the Asian parks are just stunning.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're like getting all upset because like red isn't.
We want the redhead.
Yeah, we want the redhead. All right. Well, speaking of other things of color, blue milk is coming to grocery stores. This is vanilla flavored blue milk. You know you want some.
From Star Wars. I like both of them. Now, I don't think this is going to taste like it does at Galaxy's Edge because these are not, I don't know. It's like a fruity flavor. I don't know if I want to try any from the grocery store or not, but yep, they're there.
Is it going to be a limited time thing, just like around Star Wars Day or anything? Or is this?
I don't know. No, it's from True Moo, whatever that is.
Huh.
A brand. It's a brand. True
yeah.
Moo. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you happen to have True Moo in your area, not True Moo, just True Moo, it's new. Blue milk.
On to the next thing. So, tickets went on sale last week for D23, the ultimate Disney fan event in Anaheim, California. And we got tickets for it.
We did.
The 3-day ultimate pass sold out on the second day of the pre-sale.
Yeah. And really early on the second day. Yeah.
We are going to be going in August. We are both very stoked to be doing this. We've never gone to one of these type of events before. This is where they announce everything.
Yes.
Like there's a panel on parks and experiences, any big movies coming out, they'll announce that. Like they've had Marvel panels in the past where they've announced all sorts of stuff. They've had Star Wars panels where they've announced all this stuff, and very much looking forward. Hopefully they will have stuff happening this year. I know at the last one, it was all blue sky stuff, which is, hey, these are things we are thinking of doing, not here's what we are actually doing. So I hope we get the here's what we are actually going to be doing here.
Here's where our $60 billion is being spent. Yes, tell us. We want to know. We really want to know.
We know they're going to be spending $60 billion for experiences, and 50%, which is $30 billion, is going to parks and resorts, and $17 billion of that specifically is going to Disney World.
Nice.
30%, which is $18 billion, is for tech and maintenance, and 20%, which is $12 billion, is going to Disney Cruise Line.
$12 billion will buy you a few ships.
The magic and the wonder are about done.
Yeah.
They are starting to look their age.
They're not going to build another small ship, are they?
No, I would love it, and so many people would love it.
Yeah.
No, because they're gonna wanna make profit.
Yeah, it's maximizing the amount of people per staff, and
you won't have that intimate feel, I don't think, anymore.
No, the problem is they're going to be placing themselves out of some of these markets and some of these ports that they've loved being able to pull into. I think
that's true.
We saw that in Europe where, they're able to go to these ports, with the dream that they were able to do with the magic, but they have to, instead of pulling into the middle of downtown Copenhagen, they have to go into the industrial port, and then everybody has to take a bus. Or Alaska is the same thing, I really, really, really hope they do kind of like for like replacements. I don't think they will. That is
definitely our preference. It is our preference, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. I think it's a lot of people's preference.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get back on the small ships before they go away.
Yes.
Speaking of ships, Steamboat Willie Mickey, the copyright is up this year. We've seen all sorts of fun things come up. There's a slasher horror film coming out that is themed around Steamboat Willie. And there's a horror video game around the Steamboat Willie theme and storyline that's coming out. So, public domain is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. They looked really scary.
If you thought Blood and Honey from Winnie the Pooh going public domain was insane, I think when some of these other Disney characters and their looks come up, it's going to be really interesting.
I think they're making a Blood and Honey too.
Of course they are.
Yup. Well, Disney released some animated films that had debuted on Disney Plus because of the pandemic and such in the theaters recently. So Soul came to the theaters, Turning Red, and Luca. All of those came to the theaters. I don't know what the turnout was. We've already seen those, so we didn't go see them.
I have a funny feeling we're not alone in that.
Yeah.
So, the whole theater thing has just changed significantly in the last 4 years for some reason. Not sure why. Percy Jackson and the Olympians finished its first season run on Disney Plus. This was super well received.
This was, yeah. There have been a couple of iterations before of the Percy Jackson series that were very bad. Yeah. Now, this didn't follow exactly to the books, but whatever does. But I liked this because Sterling actually started reading the series, and we have had some good conversations, because I've read the books as well, just on what is the same and what is different between the books and the show. So I like being able to do that.
For those who don't know, can you kind of give a 15-second snapshot of what Percy Jackson is all about?
Percy Jackson and the Olympians is a young adult or a kid's book series based on a child, Percy, who finds out that he is a half-blood. So one of the gods is his dad. It's Greek mythology for a younger audience and involves Camp Half-Blood, which is where the kids go to camp and learn about their powers and find other kids that have powers, et cetera, et cetera. And I've read the books. They're really good. They're really cute. They're fun. Sterling actually likes them, which is a big deal because he hates reading.
Yes. Yes. Other more important things that hit Disney Plus, though, include Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, Taylor's version, which was a concert movie of one of her, a couple of her concerts that were, I think, down in LA, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it's a thing.
The number of people that watched this was ridiculous. Like, I think they had the highest viewership of anything ever for Disney Plus.
Wow.
Was this. Yeah. And yes, we watched it. It was good. She has good songs. And something that just recently happened, March 27th, so last week, the Hulu Hub has launched on Disney Plus. So you go into Disney Plus and your Hulu stuff is right there. It's quite nice.
Yeah. More importantly, the Disney Plus logo changed its color from a blue to a greenish blue.
They took the Hulu logo and the Disney Plus logo and pushed the colors together, blended them together to this nice teal.
Right. So forget about content. Color. Color is the big change here.
You just had to show that it's different.
True. Fair enough. At least if it was Microsoft, it would be Disney Plus Plus with Hulu Experience Plus or something. Like, we can't brand anything. Good on them for... Yeah, V2. Good on them for keeping the name the same and just changing the logo ever so slightly.
Yeah, just added a hub inside of it. So, you know what?
What's that?
That's the end of the list.
It is the end of the list.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Copilot. Well, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries, or technically, I mean, we work at Microsoft, but we have nothing to do with Copilot. But thank you, Copilot.
Yes.
These are our personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences and what we've seen online. We recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have any questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
Go ahead and give us a follow on social media. We're at Our Mousecapades in a lot of different places. Go ahead and give us a rating and review in your podcast app, especially if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, which it is for about half of you. That really helps people find us.
Do it. Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.